So the question is, as a buyer, can you close a transaction with open permits? Well, the answer is yes, you can, because open permits are not a lien. They're not a lien on the property. Now, do buyers like open permits? No, they don't. Do lenders care about open permits? Not so much. I don't think they're going to care. Title insurance professionals execute the real estate contract as presented. So the real estate contract might say seller to close out all open permits, but let's say the seller can't, but you really want the property. Well, that's your decision whether you want to close or not, but there's nothing in the title world or the lender world that stops a transaction from closing with open permits. Can you close a real estate transaction with an open permit? Well, it depends on the contract, because the title company closing your transaction is going to execute that contract exactly as it says. Now, I don't want to dive too much into this, but it's really important to understand that certain contracts, like the FAR bar regular contract, has something called repair limits, 1.5% for unpermitted work and open permits of the contract or the sales price, right? 1.5%. So that money is there to close out any open permits. So your title companies can do a search for open permits, not unpermitted work, because they don't have a crystal ball. They can't get behind a house and know what's going on behind closed doors, right? But open permits are searchable in the municipality records, right? So the title company is going to close it for the contract. Now listen to this. The FAR bar as-is contract says that the seller has to cooperate, provide notes and sketches to the new home person, the person that has the house under contract, but doesn't have to close them out. And the other three contracts, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, and Naples, they don't even address open permits. So the title company is really staring at that real estate contract to determine what they're going to do with open permits. So we're talking open permits in closing a real estate transaction, so it all depends on the contract. The title company is going to go by the contract, right? But ultimately, buyers don't like open permits because it hurts their marketability of the property. No buyer likes open permits because why is it open? Was it unfinished work? Was it a half of a roof done? Was it plumbing done wrong? There's some definite issues with open permits. And in Miami-Dade Broward, for example, they have something called a recertification of occupancy, which means if there's an open permit, you have to recertify that house for occupancy once you close out that permit, which means you got to adhere to all the new codes. So open permits can be kind of tricky. That's why some realtors write in the as-is contract this language: seller will close out any open permits. So I have a video about that out there somewhere, and I wrote an article about it. So if you're listening to this video, you'll be able to get to my company, and you will find my extensive article about open permits and unpermitted work. I try to bring simplicity to this industry because it often is so complex that a lot of people pay no attention to the details of title insurance. But thank you for listening to my video series on title insurance. If you find it useful, please share my videos with a friend or subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for listening.